Yes, we're up and running. Right. Let's go. Hello, good morning, and welcome to the Virtual Racers Club. And we are back with the final round of the Renault Megane Trophy. The final. And what an absolutely cracking championship we have had in these little Renaults. So you probably got a good idea of the Renault Megane Trophy by now. What we do is we take the Renault Megane Trophy Group 4, in which they've been running around it for 9 rounds now, and we're hoping to have a nail biter. So what we'll have today is 2 30-minute feature races, in which the racing medium compound is mandatory, as we've seen for the past rounds. And for the final, here we are in sunny Australia. That's the last time I'll do an Australian accent. And hopefully we're going to have an absolute blast. So we're in for the first race. They've had the 10-minute qualifier, and let's see how it's got on. But for the time being, I'm just going to turn around and say, if at any point, if I say ow, just ignore me. Because at work tonight, I was busy doing a bit of maintenance for one of the machines. It required a bit of whacking, we will say, with a hammer. And my thumb suddenly decided that it wanted to get in the way, and I absolutely smacked it with full force. Not going to lie, it stung quite badly, to the point of where it's already going purple. As if I don't go purple enough as it is. Mind you, I suppose it's better than being red, but at least I know there's blood going to there. But enough of my woes, just to let that out of the way. If I say ow, ignore me. That is my thumb saying that's too much. Please stop it. So, on to the more important factor, which is the table. So, after 9 rounds, and there is not a lot in it, because in first at the moment is in first place we have Homesick Alien on 278 points. In second, we have Racer Brown on 266 points. In third, we have Guesty on 227. So we think Guesty is out of the championship for now, but maybe be able to make some form of comeback. We'll have to wait and see. In fourth, we have Bazza on 210 points. In fifth, we have Big Dan on 182 points. In sixth, we have Mrs. Guesty on 179 points. In seventh, we have Perchon on 156 points. In eighth, we have Pat on 155 points, 1 point separating them. So, if they're on track today, it could have a decider between those two. In ninth, we have Rido, also on 155 points. So, those three could swap positions by the end of it. So, we'll have to see how that one pans out. In 10th, we have Silver Star on 107 points. In 11th, we have Electric, but he's missed quite a few rounds, so he is down in No man's land at the moment. In 12th, we have Kale on 67 points, but he's missed quite a few rounds as well, so that's quite low down. In 13th, we have Bunny on 32 points, but he hasn't shown himself since round 1, so safe to say he's out of it. In 14th, we have Skyjacker, also in the same situation. And in 15th, we have Harvey on no points, but we believe he was struggling to join the guys in this one. So, after 10 minutes, and there's 10 rounds then. We're on round 10. So, after 10 minutes of qualifying, let us see how it all pans out. Are you ready? And da-da-da-da. Oh, let's go over this way a little bit. So, as we can see, on the front row, looking to make some comeback is Homesick Alien, taking the valuable points for pole position, just what he needs in his fight with Homesick Alien. In second, we have Guesty lined up. The front row is second and third. Cracking stuff. In second row, in third is Bazza. That's a great qualifying position as well for him. He'll be looking to get some points up on Big Dan. Joining him on the second row is Silver Star. What a qualifying position for him. I'm sure he'll be pleased with that one. Third row, we have Big Dan in fifth. Probably looking to make sure to keep an eye on his always championship rival, Bazza. In sixth, we have Mrs. Guesty. Doing quite well there. And in seventh, we have Pat all on his own. So we've only got 7 drivers here today. And more shockingly, no Homesick Alien. Interesting. So it will mean that Racer Brown will have to score maximum points here if he's going to take the championship away from Homesick Alien. Tantalizing stuff. So let's rewind the clock and let these go. Oh no, we'll go through the tyres first. So Racer Brown's gone medium. Guesty's also gone for mediums. Bazza's on the mediums. Silver Star's on the mediums. Big Dan's on the mediums. Mrs. Guesty's on the mediums. And Pat as well. So they're all on the mediums. Maybe that's a sign that the tyre wear is a little bit too high for the softs. But we'll have to wait and see until the second race. So let's get these chaps going. There's 4 lights, there's 5 lights, and for the final time, oh, it looks like Guesty jumps the start there a little bit, but he seems to have got away fairly well, so I would say it might have just been an absolute blinding start. And speaking of blinding starts, look at this coming through. Oh no, Silver Star's been tripped. I was going to say it was a blinding start from Silver Star, but he's been spun round. Not good for his start, but it's excellent for Racer Brown as he's now disappearing into the distance, which is what he needs. Big Dan's jumped up into second from all that calamity, and Guesty has gone down into third. But with only 7 drivers here, most of them are going to score some pretty big points, and there's no perch on, there's no Redo, so Pat could take full advantage of this and really get himself again further ahead of Perchon and Redo. But we have to remember the drop scores will kick in and it might make a difference. We will have to see, but so far Big Dan and Guesty slobbering out for second. You can see Guesty is looking left and right. He can't seem to find a way past the Rich Energy Megane as they scream through. Oh God, I've forgotten the corner. Oh, that's Pat going onto the grass. That's not going to be good for him, but he's managed to control it. Excellent stuff. Oh, and he's lost the back end. In fact, he's drifting round it. Maybe he's found an alternative way to get quick around this track. That would be a sight to see indeed. Although, to be fair, Pat, that's usually Big Dan's trick, so I won't be pulling that trick out of your bag at the moment. He's a little bit of the expert, but I don't know. I've not seen you drift very much, but that was cracking work anyway. Regardless, Mrs. Guesty has moved up into 5th. A great start for her. Bazza dropping down into 6th. He's got a little bit of damage as well, so he must have clouted a barrier at some point, and unfortunately Silver Star, after that cracking start he had, has dropped to last. But let's not forget, this is a half-an-hour race. It's got a long way to go. Many more mistakes could be had, and he could still move his way up in the rankings, perhaps. But it's Racer Brown's day at the moment, disappearing into the distance. This is what he needs to clinch the title away from Homesick Alien. And I bet Homesick Alien is probably a little bit nervous about this, because I'm not sure. It could be problems could be busy in real life. We know that these guys do have lives outside of our little racing world, so there's no telling. Or it could be a tactical drop, who knows, we'll have to see. But Racer Brown is currently running away with it. We'll have to see how many points he can skim through this, but he's going to have to score big. Guesty has moved up into 2nd at last, so now he can start chasing down Racer Brown, who you have to feel that Guesty is probably the biggest threat to Racer Brown today. Guesty could spoil the party. He's outside of the championship, so he's not going to be taking away any silverware this time around, but he could spoil the Racer Brown party and maybe help Homesick Alien, perhaps. Big Dan in 3rd. It's going to be a great 3rd for him, chasing down Bazza in his championship fights. Always together, those two. It's always great to see those two battling on track as well. Pat doing incredibly well in 4th. And you have to think that this is going to help out. He's gone a little bit deep there. Come on, Pat, keep it under control, mate. You could really jump up the championship order at this rate at the moment, but with only 7 drivers, you're going to get some cracking points regardless. Bazza's moved up into 5th, so he's overtaken Mrs. Guesty on his charge of getting Big Dan. It's going to be a tall order though, because Dan seems to be really in control at the moment in 3rd place. Racer Brown's running to the distance, so is Guesty. But, is he approaching Pat? He's approaching Pat fairly quickly. Pat must have had a problem coming out of the chase. I remember that one. And I remember this one as well. It's Hell's Corner coming up. I remember those two, and I don't have a map. Yay for memory! But there we go. Bazza, should I say, has moved up into 4th, and he can now start chasing down Big Dan. And Pat, let's not get a little frustrated with yourself. It's still 5th. That's still going to be some cracking points for you at the end of the day. Let's see, just sticking to the tone. Use him as a tow buddy to help catch Big Dan. That will help you out in massive ways. Mrs. Guesty, though, down in 6th, but like we said before, only 7 drivers. They're going to get a huge amount of points out of this one. Same with Silver Star, although he has caught them back up a little bit, so he has got some pace here. So we might see something of him, maybe in race 2 perhaps. Will be cracking to see. Racer Brown, though, running into the distance, although Guesty's really not letting him get away so quickly. He has managed to close a gap a little bit, but is Racer Brown just managing the tyres, possibly making as very little mistake as possible, because he has got a championship to think about, and any small mistake could really, really hamper his championship win. I guess he wants to spoil the party, doesn't want Racer Brown to have it his own way. So you'll have to see how that one turns out. Big Dan's still going strong in 3rd. That's great to see him up into 3rd in a podium. He's always knocking on the door of the podiums, so this will be yet another podium for him, another great podium as well. And in the chat we have Rido. Rido, where are you, buddy? What's happened here? You should be scrapping these guys. Not talking to me. Rido saying, bit early, mate. Yes, it is a bit early. I am one tired puppy, and I thought I need to get this one out of the way. And I thought, do you know what? An early morning Betty Bye time for me would be grand. So I thought I'll get this one out of the way because it needs doing. But I couldn't do it last time around because it wasn't available. So get this one finished and polished and a crowned champion. And Rido as well saying, good morning, pal. Hope you're okay. I'm about 99.9% okay. If you heard at the beginning, I inadvertently turned my thumb into a pancake, so it now resembles something. I would say a thumb, but it's not. It's more like a purple sausage. So, yeah, inadvertently turned it into a pancake thanks to it running in the way of a hammer. So, as I said before, if at any point, if I say ow, that is my thumb saying, naughty boy, I'm not supposed to do that. So, just ignore that bit. But carrying on, let's have a look at them all. Enough of my woes. Oops, I'm pressing buttons now. Ow! That's what I mean. My apologies. Ow. So, Racer Brown still holding off the lead at the moment, but Guesty is chasing him down, wanting to spoil. Oh God! Now brain no work. It's bad enough the thumb doesn't, the brain don't neither. Guesty wanting to spoil the Racer Brown victory party, possibly. Big Dan still going strong in third, but I think Bazza is. Dan, don't you be drifting that thing. It's tail end happy enough as it is. Let's not do any of that. But Bazza is chasing him down. So we're going to see these two not only battle it out in the championship, but they're going to battle it out on track as well. And Bazza has a little moment there as well. But he's managed to control it just fine and even lose much time out of it. Absolutely beautiful stuff. He's left Pat behind. Still in fifth. Got his fastest lap in that last time around, with Guesty having the fastest lap at the moment, with 2 minute 12.8. That could be a small setback for Racer Brown. We don't know, because it's so tantalising. We don't know what the difference is going to be. This is Guesty still going strong in sixth as well. And oh no, Silverstar must. Oh yes, he's had a bit of a hiccup in lap 3, so he's. All that hard work of catching up has unfortunately dropped him back again, but let's not forget for race 2 it is in reverse order, so we could see a resurgence of the Silver Surfer Star. But Racer Brown, yep, as we can see, he's going purples now. He's probably wanting to get as many points as possible. It looks like it is going to be Racer Brown's day, but is it going to be Racer Brown's championship by the end of it? With no Homesick Alien here to put up any form of counter-attack, it's all in Racer Brown's hands at the moment. He must know the small amount. In fact, I didn't even do the job. I did the wrong table, didn't I? I did the wrong table. I did the normal table instead of the drop scores. In fact, tell you what, I'll just do Racer Brown and Homesick Alien in the drop scores. Homesick Alien is on 192 points in first, and Racer Brown is on 191. But if I can see this correctly, I think Homesick Alien is going to regain 27 points. Yes, it is 27. So Racer Brown knows what to aim for. He needs to score more than 27 points to give him the championship. So 27, he needs 29 points. As far as I'm aware, I'm not going to go through the drop scores, through the countbacks of wins and podiums and all that, because we'll be here forever. But to get outright win of the championship, Racer Brown will have to score 29 points. The only man that can stop him today could be Guesty. So I have a gut feeling that that Homesick Alien is probably cheering on Guesty here today. Probably wanting him to score a little bit more at the moment. How many points do you get for a first? I mean, Homesick Alien... no, Racer Brown, he'll got... I think you get 2 points for pole? No, you get 1 point for pole, so he's already got 1 point, Racer Brown. Oh no, that's Guesty going wide. That's going to help Racer Brown out at the moment. And wow, Guesty is still going purples. 12 minutes into this and he's still going purples. Incredible stuff. Big Dan still in third. He's still holding off Bazza, but I think Bazza's dropped back a little bit, so the attack that Bazza was putting on is just probably stepped back a little bit, regained a little bit of composure, thinking of a round 2 attack, and it seems to be going well so far. He's not fully lost Big Dan, he's still in his sights, but he has a little bit of catching up to do. He's dropped back to Pat a little bit as well, has he? Bazza hasn't made any form of mistake. I mean, it might be in this one, but it's nothing from his normal time, maybe a little bit more, but Pat has been on an absolute charge, getting his fastest lap in the previous lap with a 2:15.5, so Pat now on the attack. Bazza will have to go defensive, so Bazza's got to think carefully here if he's going to put... oh, running with a bit of a wiggle coming out of... oh god, I've forgotten it now. I know that's Hell Corner. Oh god, my track corner naming memory really needs an update. Mrs. Guesty in 6th. She's still going pretty strong as well. Still see the guys ahead of her as well, so more points may be on the card. So, ow! Oh, I would have to hit that part of the bloody thumb, wouldn't I? Apologies. So Silver Star still going strong in 7th. It's going to be last, but I tell you what, swap arms. There you go. But 7th is going to be a good chunk of points. Maybe last today, but that's still going to be a hefty chunk of points. That's going to help him out in his championship fight. Ooh, he's having a bit of a struggle with the back end, but he's regained it quite easily. But now Racer Brown must have seen the threat emerging from Guesty, although he did a 2:14.4 in the previous lap, and Guesty doing a 2:13.1, so Guesty on absolute maximum attack mode to try and help him catch up Racer Brown. And Homesick Alien must be cheering on. I think I can even hear him somewhere in the background screaming Guesty, Guesty, Guesty. But at the moment it's Racer Brown in control, and I think it's 20 points for a race win. I think, no, it's 16. So if Racer Brown does get the win with the 1 point for pole position, that's 17 points, so he'll need at least 12 in the next race, in race 2, to take the championship. And I think he is 12. Second, third, fourth, fifth. So it'll be 5th. So there could be a chance. There could be a chance. One small mistake from Racer Brown could see him drop. So it's not all written in stone yet for Racer Brown. We'll have to see what happens in race 2. Back here in 3rd, Big Dan looking great for a 3rd place podium. He's dropped Bazza even more now. With Big Dan doing a 2:14.4 and Bazza doing a 2:15, so Bazza is dropping back. little by little. I wonder if he's probably trying to take those mediums all the way to the end. That's probably what everybody's thinking, is Bathurst is a bit of a difficult track to overtake on. It's not impossible, but it is a bit of a tall order. So maybe not thinking of a pit stop. I mean, we're 17 minutes in. The tyres are looking pretty fresh, so it looks like the mediums could go all the way. You can see the front end of Big Dan. In fact, he's actually got damage on that front right-hand side, so he's obviously clouted a barrier at some point, and he's dropped back a considerable amount. How much time has he lost? 3.5 seconds, so he's lost a big chunk of time to Bazza. So third place might not be guaranteed just yet, and the way he's sliding that back end of the Megane around, it might not be a said done deal. So Big Dan may still have to put up some pressure from Bazza come near the end of this race. And I think, yeah, as we can see, Bazza has managed to look after his tyres just that little bit more. I mean, he's down by 2.2 seconds himself, so it wasn't all going in Bazza's way, but that could be a very interesting fight if those two are still going to be close to each other by the end of it. But further up the front, as we can see, Guesty is still piling on the pressure from Racer Brown. In fact, I think he's caught up even more so, only 0.2 quicker in the previous lap. But Racer Brown is either thinking long term or he's struggling for pace out there. We don't know, but there's not much in between the pair of them whatsoever, and Guesty could be stealing the win at this rate by the end of it, although Racer Brown has looked after his tyres just a little bit better than Guesty. So there's no telling what's going to happen to these guys come at the end, and there's a big gap back to Big Dan. Only a possible pit stop or a absolute massive mistake from the guys in first and second. It looks like those two are going to finish first and second, but in what order we will have to wait and see. And third isn't guaranteed either, but it looks like it could be settled between Big Dan and Bazza. But as I say that as well, not all that far behind them is Pat. Pat could be throwing his cards on the table. Could Pat get a possible podium here in Mount Panorama, perhaps? I think Pat is a fan of Bathurst. I know he does like his V8 supercars, so maybe Bathurst is one of his liked tracks. Maybe he likes it. Maybe he's one of those with me where he likes a track, but the track doesn't like him. I definitely know that one. Suzuka's one of them. Well, I'm not actually a big fan of Suzuka. Don't get me wrong, I don't hate it, but I don't like it either. But I never seem to do well at Suzuka. So, don't hate me. Don't hate me. Controversial, I know, but it's a beautiful track though, but I don't know, I think I prefer others, if I'm honest with you. Silver Star has pulled the trigger. He is going in. I guess he's going to put some fresh boots on. Oh, is he going to go for the fastest lap? That would be interesting to see. That would be cracking to see Silver Star going for the fastest laps. I assume he's going to put softs on. Has he got enough fuel to get to the end, I wonder? That is a point. Is fuel going to be enough? Well, he's got Racer Brown's got a third of a tank left, 20 minutes left on the timer. Let's have a look with... Oh, so Silver Star isn't actually changing the tyres. Maybe he's just had enough. Maybe there's a technical issue. I don't know, but Silverstar in the pits with no action going on. Interesting stuff. But as we can see, Racer Brown has pulled away from... Oh no, there he is. Guess he must have dropped a little bit of time. We'll have to see. But wow, look at that. Racer Brown, a 2:12.855. That's 4400th of a second off Guesty's fastest lap. Wow. On those used mediums as well, that is some seriously impressive stuff. Let's have a look. Has he actually pulled away? A 2:13.9, and yeah, Guesty has done a 2:14.1, so he is starting to pull away. That front right is starting to show a little bit of pain, so it might be the tyres just dropping away from him. Big Dan is being caught by Bazza. The gap is now even closer than before. Big Dan must have had a big moment on the previous lap because it was a 2:16.5, and it has brought Bazza into play. So Bazza and Big Dan both knocking on the final step of the podium, and who's going to take this one, I wonder. What a cracking story that would be at the end of this series between these two. Always seem to meet each other on track and in the championship. If anybody didn't know any better, I'd say they were sewn together on the hip. You just can't separate these two, and it's absolutely cracking to see. They do have some good races, these two. It's a shame we don't see it more often, really. Mind you, you can blame the broadcaster for that one, that we never see the action between these two because he never keeps an eye on it. Pat in fifth, going wide, decided he wants to cut a little bit of the grass, thinking it's a little bit too long. If you like cutting grass... Oh, he's gone in too deep there, but whoa, well hold there by Pat, who's absolutely flung it around those corners there. Absolutely cracking. He's turned that Megane into a rally car. Absolutely cracking job there, Pat. But let's face it, mate, if you want to do a bit of lawn mowing, you can come do my back garden. As somebody would kindly say, it's like a Serengeti out there. In fact, I'm surprised the BBC hasn't sent me a letter asking me if they could do an episode of The Bug's Life back there. Mrs. Guesty in sixth, going strong. She's going to end up with some cracking points. It looks like sixth is the best that she's going to get today. Effectively last, because Silverstar has decided to call it quits. Whether it's a technical issue or not, I don't know. But sixth is going to be a great result for her at the end of the day. But at the front, still the gap remains between Racer Brown and Guesty. Guesty still holds the fastest lap. Is that going to be enough to hold off Racer Brown towards his 18th championship at the moment? I've lost count of how many championships this chap has won. It's an incredible record. And it looks like, oh, he's hit the barrier. You don't want to be doing that too much. Not when you've got so much on the line today. Just a little blip in the Racer Brown matrix. And he's going wide as well. Is he pushing the car too hard? Oh, this... He's definitely... Is he feeling the pressure from Guesty, maybe? It's the pressure of the championship getting to our veteran Racer Brown. Normally the cool-headed character that is Racer Brown. Is the pressure buckling, I wonder? Or is it Guesty? There is no telling, but as you can see, he must be within the tow range. He has to be, surely. He can't be that far off the tow range. I mean, these two have absolutely left Bazza and Big Dan in the dust. And with 3.5 minutes left, is Guesty going to spoil the win today, I wonder, for Racer Brown? Big Dan still holding off Bazza in third. He's not all that far behind him either, but is the tyres an issue? Big Dan has worn that front right a hell of a lot more than Bazza, but it doesn't appear to be affecting him all that much because he's still giving it the absolute beans going through the chase. And he has pulled away a little bit from Bazza, so it looks like, I'm not going to say it, because if I say it, it'll bite Big Dan in the bum, which we don't want to. A 2:15.6 from Big Dan and a 2:16.7 from Bazza. Those two are really, really struggling at the moment with their tyres, but I can see further up, Guesty is tight behind Racer Brown after 27 minutes of absolutely piling on the pressure. He is surely within the tow range now of Racer Brown. Oh, and he's at the barrier as well. The tyres can't be an issue on the front left, so I'm not 100% sure. They must just be pushing that Megane to its absolute limits, and it giving up. Look at that, he's a 10th off his best time. Racer Brown as well must be surely feeling the pressure from Guesty. All he has to do is just keep it pointing in the right direction. As we've said, 29 points is going to be enough for Racer Brown to take the championship, which second is 15 points. So if he gets 2 seconds, he will still win the championship. 15. Mind you, he could get 2 thirds. That would take him to 29th, but I don't think third is going to be an option because Racer Brown has absolutely pulled a huge gap with Guesty now. Where has that come from? Guesty must have made a mistake somewhere at some point, because he was closer than that just a few corners ago. And as we can see, we're now going into the final minute, so this lap now is going to be their final lap. I think, yeah, Big Dan and Bazza. And Bazza's caught up Big Dan again, as Big Dan made a mistake in this last lap, and he's at a tyre issue, so Big Dan's got to work hard for it. They've still got 30 seconds, so this is going to be their final lap now, respectively. So Big Dan has got a bit of work to do if he wants to solidify that third place podium. Bazza definitely wants a slice of the podium cake today. Pat's going to get through, so he's going to get his final lap as well. Oh, and Silverstar has come out, or maybe he's just so he can cross the finish line, I don't know. But Mrs. Guesty is going through, so she's going to get another lap. So it looks like Silverstar is going to be the first finisher today. You can see he's not full beans, so he's just having a leisurely lap around. Probably whatever the issue was, clearly resolved, or maybe just a bit of a respite he needed. So Silverstar comes home in 7th, but back at the front, Racer Brown has managed to pull up an even bigger gap. Wow, the fuel is flashing, so there isn't much left in it. He's got a little bit less than, no, they're about even actually, but it looks like Racer Brown is going to take it. Big Dan is still holding off in third. We'll stick with these guys because this is for the final step of the podium. We know it's going to be Racer Brown taking the win. We guessed in second, but it's third. That's going to be the biggest question at the moment. We'll have to go to the leaders at some point, but Big Dan still having to... Oh, Bazza's pushing too hard. He clouted the barrier on the way out. That's not going to help his case. But we'll have to cut to the front now because Racer Brown, so far, stage 1 of the final mission complete. He got the pole. He didn't get the fastest lap, but he did get the win, and that's probably just what he needs. Racer Brown takes the win. Guesty comes home in second. Back here with third, it looks like Big Dan is going to hold off Bazza for the final step of the podium in a hard-fought race between these two. There can't be much in between them. but Big Dan holds off firm. Bazza decided to cut a little bit more grass, but Big Dan holds off for third. Well done, Big Dan, and Bazza comes home in fourth. Further back here as well, we've got Pat coming home in fifth. It's going to be some big points in his championship battle with Rido and Perchon, and hopefully we'll have to wait. He'll have to wait and see if the drop score works in his favour. Pat comes home in sixth, and finally coming home in sixth in a difficult race for Mrs. Guesty. She takes sixth. So, as we said, stage one for Racer Brown complete. He gets the win to help him in his championship. So it's 16 points for the win and 1 point for the pole. That's 17 points. So Racer Brown only needs 12 points in race 2 to take the championship. Guesty coming home in second. He gets the fastest lap as well, so that's a bonus point for him. He's not going to get any higher than third. Oh, excuse me, but I think third is probably going to be a good day work for him. Big Dan coming home in third, a fantastic podium for him. Oh, well, we see him on the podium now and again, probably a lot less than he likes, but more often than we love to. Well, no. Well, we love to see him on the podium anyway. It's nice to see different people on the podium. Aliens. Oh dear, where did that come from? Oh, excuse me. But Big Dan gets more silverware for the trophy cabinet. Big Bazza pushing Big Dan all the way right to the end. As you can see, there's not much of a gap in between them, but he may be able to come back in race 2 and steal a podium perhaps. Pat coming home in fifth. That's going to do great for his championship battle. Mrs. Guesty getting a huge chunk of points. She comes home in sixth. And Silver Star coming home in seventh, which I'm not sure who he's in the championship fight with. Let's have a nosy, shall we? Oh, it is Rido. It is Rido who is not here. So he may be able to pinch more. May be able to pinch Rido's spot in the championship. With Rido not here neither, we will have to wait and see. So, on to the final race of the Meganes. Oh, I like that. Oh, I do like that. Yoink. Ow, ow. Oh. Ow. That's really going to do my head in over the weekend, especially when I've got a front garden to sort out, because I had about 3 tons of gravel over the week and it arrived on Monday and I've got to sort it out this weekend. So having a flat fun is really not going to help me out much. Oh, don't look, don't look. Right, let's leave it there. And holy... Excuse me. My apologies. Not going to lie, I've just seen one of those 8-legged... Can I say buggers? I'm going to say it. You know those little 8-legged buggers that you often see roaming about? I kid you not, one just walked right near my seat, and it was the size of a chuffing golf ball. Like, What the hell were you eating as a little sprog, honestly? Because it was an absolute demon. Good job they don't speak English, because I swear to God, it would have looked at me and go, "Hello, mate. You want a piece of this, do you?" Christ almighty, it was an absolute beast. Woo-hoo. And yes, I did away with it. Oh, excuse me. I did away with it because, unfortunately, that is my mother's training, because unfortunately she is a massive arachnophobic. So she trained me at a very young age at the sight of these things to instantly delete them. I won't say the other ones, because apparently YouTube doesn't like them. Why? They are words. So I will go with delete. Hopefully I won't get told off for that one. But yes, it has been deleted, and we may continue. So moving on to race 2, we are in the dark. And as we can see, Silverstar is on pole. He is going for the softs. Mrs. Guesty in second, also in the softs. Pat in the softs in third. Bazza on the softs in fourth. Big Dan fifth on the softs. Guesty sixth with softs. And Racer Brown last with the softs. So we've got an all soft grid now. The mandatory tyre out the way. Maybe the colder temperatures may help the softs get them all the way to the... That is really one noisy pigeon. Gits. So can the colder temperatures get them all the way to the end? Let us find out for one final race of the Renault Megane Trophy. Off we go. Wow, they were held for quite a way, and Silverstar reacting very quickly off the line. He launches off of it, gets a good reaction time, and he goes into Hell Corner first. Still holding off. Mrs. Guesty still in second, but she is being hounded by the Statman Pat, who's having a look, trying to see if he can make his way round Mrs. Guesty as they come up to the second corner, tight behind the bumper, tucking into the draft. He's pulled the trigger already. We can't see because, and there we go. So Mrs. Guesty holds off for second for the time being, with Pat in third. Bazza still holding well in fourth. Racer Brown is up into fifth already overtaking Guesty and Big Dan, which is exactly what he needs. Remember, he only needs 12 points, and at the moment in fifth, that is the 12 points. So far, stage 2 is still going well for Racer Brown, but don't forget, we've still got a good half an hour left in this race, and anything could actually happen, with Guesty still holding off in sixth as they disappeared into the darkness. This is my sort of familiar territory. Oh, who's that going slow? Was it Racer Brown? Oh no, somebody's gone wide. Who is it? Who's dropping? It's Pat. Oh no, Pat has lost it going through the S's. The back end must have just wondered what the front was doing, decided to have a peek, and has unfortunately stuck Pat all the way to the back, which means that Racer Brown in fourth is going to take the championship, but there's still a long way to go yet. Bazza being promoted to third. Is he going to take one final piece of silverware back to Belgium in this Renault Megane Trophy? Mrs. Guesty still holding off well in second, still chasing off Silverstar, who's, I'm not going to lie, that launch he got, reaction time was unbelievable. I don't think even I could have done any better than that. So we'll just have to open. No, I'm not going to say it because it will happen. Bazza is still holding off in third. Guesty's moved up ahead of Racer Brown, so Racer Brown is now dropped to fifth. He's still in the championship winning position, but I imagine that he'll probably want to come away with more points than that to really solidify the championship, going back to RB territory. Big Dan holding off well in 6th, but there's still a long way to go, and as we see, we've had people making mistakes early doors, so he could still make his way up the standings. And Pat as well. Oh no, he's had another clout with the barrier. Pat absolutely struggling in the dark, and it looks like this race is not his race, and he'll be lucky to see the back of these, or maybe he's just had enough of the Renault Meganes and glad it's the last race. But so far at the moment, Silver Star still in the lead, and he's pulled off a little gap between himself and Mrs. Guesty, who is being hounded by Bazza and Guesty. So is she going to be able to hold off? Mind you, I think Silver Star will probably want her to be the impenetrable wall, so that Guesty and Racer Brown and Bazza as well. Oh no, she's clouted the barrier. Oh, everyone's had a clout with her through the barrier. So Mrs. Guesty unfortunately dropping like a brick. That's Big Dan going through as well, which promotes Bazza, Guesty, Racer Brown up into the podium positions. And now Bazza can really start putting the hammer down to catch up Silver Star. Or is he going to play back up for Silver Star, I wonder? Because I know they are good mates off the track, but I'm sure that won't be the case, because Bazza's got 2 sets of aliens right behind him, and it looks like Guesty has pulled the trigger. He's going to have to go the long way around through the final corner. Bazza plays defensively very well, still holding off Bazza, and Silver Star will be loving this even more so, because the more they fight, the more they're going to drop away, and the aliens won't be able to catch up. So far at the moment, Bazza... Oh no, Bazza's still there. I'm thinking I'm focused on the wrong person. No way. Oh my word. Silver Star currently has the fastest lap with a 2:16.0, and Bazza's got the exact same time. Oh, talk about a way to end the Renault Meganes, with the fastest lap being shared with Silver Star and Bazza. Oh, you've got to look. Oh, Bazza's gone deep a little bit there, but it doesn't look like it's compromised him all that much. But I think he is catching Silver Star a little bit. But Guesty at the moment still holding off in 4th so far. Racer Brown doing all he needs. Maybe he's just taking it a little bit easy. He doesn't need any mistakes in this last round, so he might just be thinking of the long game, not piling on the pressure too much. Maybe just thinking too many mistakes will cost me. But having said that, he's rapidly caught up to Guesty now, and it looks like he may be going into attack mode pretty soon. As we come down all the long way down, he's going to get a big toe off Guesty. Let's have a look inside, and you can see just how dark it is out there. Here we go, in the toe. Guesty's not going to go defensive. Oh, I thought he was going to give him a little bimp. Oh, and look up further up. We'll have to sculpt to this, because Bazza has caught Silver Star. They're going side by side. Oh, Silver Star's gone onto the grass. He's dipped it. Oh, no. Oh, and Bazza's dipped it as well. Racer Brown's dipped it. The only one that hasn't is Guesty, who goes into the lead. Ah! Oh, I've just clouted the steering wheel. Ow. But Racer Brown's now coming back at him as well. Oh my word, it's all happening in this lap. And poor Silver Star, who was leading the start of this race, has dropped to 6th just by going onto the grass. But Racer Brown now takes the lead, and if things stand the way they are, that is it. One more championship trophy going home to the Racer Brown. But Guesty's still in 2nd. He could still get a good 2nd out of this, but he got 2nd in the first race. Probably thinks, I want more than that. I'd love to get a win here in the last race of the Renault Meganes. Bazza in 3rd. What could have been, but just some dipping onto the grass. The tyres getting cold has seen them all drop. It was absolutely cracking to see. Everybody decided to follow each other onto the grass in completely different areas, and the whole running order has been switched around. So Baz is still holding off well in third. He's now being chased by Big Dan, so the roles have reversed. Before it was Big Dan in third, being chased by Bazza. Now it's Bazza in third, being chased by Biggeth Daneth. So we're going to see these two on track, scrapping all over again. Mrs. Guesty in fifth. That's going to be great for her in her championship battle with... Oh God, we've got a yellow flag. Oh no, it's Racer Brown. Oh, I thought it was in the bag. He must have thought it was in the bag as well. But a mistake from Racer Brown has seen him drop all the way to fifth, which is going to be the 12 points. He got 17, so this will equal on points with Homesick Alien. And I think I just heard the mothership jump for joy. So Racer Brown has got some serious catching up to do now, and he must be absolutely kicking himself. I bet it was just a small mistake as well that's seen him drop all the way to fifth. Silver Star as well was probably joining him in the I'm kicking myself department. He had the lead, just a small mistake has seen him drop all the way to sixth, and he's going to be absolutely gutted, especially with the start he had. And Pat as well in seventh, although he might have a playmate pretty soon. So he's been on by his Billy Bob for the past 2 laps, I think, and he's now got Silver Star in front of him, so it's not going to be the boring race that Pat maybe thought he'd be having after being dropped to the back. But Guesty, at the moment, it's all in his hands now. He's got the fastest lap, he's in the lead, he's the one in control, and now he might be able to pull off. Excuse me for a second. Apologies for that. So far Guesty not going to be knocking on the door of the championship, but he could be the party spoiler, in which at the moment it is looking that way. Big Dan has overtaken Bazza and he's got second. So with Racer Brown dropping, that promoted the pair of them up into the podium positions, but we're back to the race one again, but this time it's for second. Bazza chasing down, Big Dan in third. He's probably wanting more than that. He would love to get a second here, although a bit of silverware back to Belgium would be absolutely great. But what colour is it going to be, I wonder? Mrs. Guesty as well, who is being caught and overtaken by Racer Brown. So that puts him 16, 15, 14, 13 points with at the 17, so that will be enough for Racer Brown to take the championship. So a minor setback for Racer Brown, but he's recovered nicely. He's now up into fourth, and he can see second and third in front of him as well. And my guess is that Racer Brown is going to be putting the foot to the floor now. Caution to the wind has gone, or he could be just be that little bit rattled maybe after that first mistake. Maybe he doesn't want to commit to a second, I don't know, but he is going fastest laps, so it looks like caution has been thrown out of the window and burnt to the sacrifice of the racing gods, because he wants to win this one, and it looks like he is on a mission. So far though, Big Dan and Bazza, the only ones scrapping on track at the moment, so we'll focus this on. Wow, Big Dan must have made a small mistake coming through that, because he's dropped back into the claws of Bazza as we go through the tricky section of Mount Panorama. in the dark as well. I mean, that's enough to unnerve even the most experienced of racers. Just one small mistake in the darkness and then you are history. But it looks like Racer Brown is the one on an absolute mission, because he has caught up Bazza by an extraordinary amount. He has left Mrs. Guesty for dust, and now chasing down the two podium sitters. I think Guesty is going to win this one after that mistake from Racer Brown, but is Racer Brown going to score enough points to take the lead of the championship in the final race? Oh my word, you couldn't have planned this even if you tried. An absolute nail biter, and Racer Brown is the one that wants to write the story. As we see, as he's come out of the final corner, he got an incredible launch out of it. He's having a look on the inside of Bazza, but maybe Bazza not wanting to fight this one. No, he is going to fight it, because he's going the long way around and he's still there and he's still got third. So Bazza is not making it easy for Racer Brown. Maybe sacrificing that second place and thinking, I'll just go home with the podium instead, I'll be happy with that one. But he's still holding off a Racer Brown with the overspeed and just breezes on by Bazza, now up into third, and now he's got his targets firmly on. Oh no, Bazza's gone back through again. I wonder if that was a redress. Maybe was that a redress from Racer Brown? Maybe felt like he compromised Bazza at some point, because it looked like he made it a little bit too easy for Bazza to get by. I do not know, but as we can see, he did set the fastest lap with a 2:12.3, so that's a point going towards Racer Brown. So that will be 16, 15, 14, 30, so that'll be 14 points. So that will be more than enough to take the championship. But I could be wrong with the maths. I don't think I am, but I could be. I am doing this on the fly after all, and not wanting to figure it all out in my head on the fly, because I already struggle with this enough as it is. We will just have to go with it. So I might be right, I might be wrong, we do not know. We will have to wait and see. But as we can see, Racer Brown has caught up Bazza once again. So Bazza's going to have to go on the defence. Is the Belgium defensive wall able to hold up Racer Brown for one more moment? Mind you, Bazza, having said that, he's managed to catch up Big Dan as well. So it looks like it's going to be a three-way fight for the final two steps of the podium. So this is going to be absolutely cracking to watch. We can see Racer Brown managing to go through Hell's Corner just that little bit better than Bazza. Tucking into the toe. Is Bazza going to go defensive? It doesn't look like he is. Racer Brown pulls the trigger for the overtake, and he's going to have the inside of the second corner. And yep, there we go. So no, Bazza's hold off. Has Bazza managed to hold off for third? He is. He's making Racer Brown really having to fight and fight hard for that third. Bazza putting up an absolutely solid defence, but oh no, he lost the back end a little bit too much and couldn't get the power down. So that's Racer Brown now up into third, and Bazza can hear the door being slammed shut in his face for that final third place. But there's only so much defence you can do against Racer Brown before he finally gets you. You've got to be on a higher plane when racing Racer Brown, and now he can once again start chasing down Big Dan for second place. I'm pretty sure that a second place for Racer Brown would all guarantee Racer Brown winning the championship. Guesty, we haven't seen much of him, mind you. He's been on his own at the moment, just running away with it. I think he probably will have to pit. I mean, we're just coming up to 18 minutes. The fuel is just on the halfway, so I don't think fuel is going to be an issue. The tyres might, though, but we will have to see come the end of the race. Back here in fifth, we've not seen much of Mrs. Guesty either, but she's also been in a little race of her own. She's not completely in no man's land, though, or no woman's land in this case, maybe. I don't think she has an issue with it regardless, because she can see Bazza in front of her, so she does have something to focus on. Maybe take fourth away from Bazza. That would be a cracking result, wouldn't it? We've already seen she got her first podium not all that long ago in the MTCC. It was an absolutely cracking result for Mrs. Guesty. She was one happy bunny at the end of that one, and probably thinks, I want some more of those. I didn't know the champagne up there would be even more tasty than one that I buy from Tesco's. Pat in sixth, so he has overtaken Silver Star, so the recovery drive from Pat has paid off a little bit. Maybe it was because, as soon as I was thinking it, I didn't actually say it for once, I was thinking it, because I was thinking it might have been a mistake that's from Silver Star, that I seen him drop behind Pat, and as soon as I thought it, I saw a car hitting the barrier, but all and well. So I have heard a little thing, a little whisper, a little birdie told me that he wasn't a big fan of the Renault Meganes. He likes the series, but struggles with that car, so maybe this is another one for him to write off as a car he's not a fan of. But at the same time, he's still relatively new to Virtual Racers Club. He has been here a year, so it's all a learning experience for him, and all the more experience the better. So far I guess he's still running away with it. Racer Brown has taken Big Dan. I'm having to guess it might have been this lap. So Racer Brown is now in second, and this is just all he needs now. A win is probably going to be off the cards. It's probably going to be a strategy call if he does get the win, but I don't think he's bothered about the win because he's got more important things on his mind at the moment. Big Dan coming on third. This will be another great result for him. Back-to-back podiums. In fact, the top three were on the podium for the first race, and it looks like we're going to have the same again for the second race. But having said that, Big Dan has worn that front right tyre a lot more than everybody else. We do know that he can destroy a set of tyres quite quickly. It doesn't stop him though. Still continues on like an absolute warrior. But is he going to pit, I wonder? He's already used the mediums, so he has free tyre choice. So is he going to put a... oh god. Is he going to put on a fresh set of softs and just go mental and hopefully catch everybody up? We have seen that it has worked in the past, but you've got to have some very quick pace and a reasonable gap between your fellow competitors in order for it to work. I don't think that it is on the cards today, so he's probably taking those softs all the way to the end. Bazza currently in fourth, trying to chase down Big Dan, thinking the greedy gets in front of them. Have all had podiums already. I would like a podium as well. Can we have a podium party perhaps? Can I be invited? So far it is a no. This is Guesty still holding well in 5th. Going to be some great points for her. In fact, it's going to be great points for everybody because 7th is still a decent chunk of points. So I think even coming home in 7th is going to be an absolute wonder. So far, it's all going Guesty's way. With Racer Brown taking the fastest lap again with a 2:12.2, so I don't think anybody's going to get any faster than that unless they pit in for some fresh softs, but that's going to be a gamble for them to decide because it is only a point. And while the gaps between each finishing place is 1 point, is it going to be worth the gamble? Ooh. Was that Racer Brown hitting the barrier? It looks like it. So he's still flooring it regardless. But maybe flooring it a little bit too much. They've all spread themselves out a little bit now, so we are coming up to the last 6 minutes of our final race of the Renault Megane Trophy. And as we said before, what an absolute cracking championship we have had. We've had lots of battles, lots of upsets, lots of podium people, different podium results. Big Dan's had his fair share of podiums this championship, I believe. Quick look, yes, he's had lots of... No, that's not... Oh no, it is him. He's had lots of thirds, he's had a second. No, I am looking at... Do you know, I don't know. Hey, why is that? Oh, how odd. Well, I think I'm looking at the wrong table. I think it's a bit messy-wessy, but yes, what a championship we have had. Lots of on-track brain refuses to work now. Lots of on-track action, different strategies, different sort of methods of approach. And what a battle we have had between Racer Brown and Homesick Alien. But as they stand, it looks like it's going to go Racer Brown's way. And what a fight he has had. What an absolute fight. Another third for Big Dan. Still being chased by Bazza, so it's been a bit of a, yeah, I'd say it's been a bit of a mixed season for Bazza. He's done quite well. Maybe feels he could have done with some better results. Mind you, to be fair, it can be said that for everybody as well, but a few people haven't been a big fan of this Megane. I know I personally aren't. I'm not a fan of the Renault Megane Trophy. Some people like it, some people do, but let's face it, if we all went on my opinion, it wouldn't really be a popular one, to be fair, but then again, at the same time, I'm not a popular person, so what do I know? This is Guesty as well. Mind you, Could I have a livery? Favourite livery? I'm going to go with these guys because these are the chaps I've seen. I have liked the Monster one. It appears that's what Guesty and Mrs. Guesty are going with now. Must have signed a big sponsorship deal with Monster. I often see Guesty with the blue Monster. It's a nice colour as well. So, couldn't argue with that one. Simplicity of Racer Brown. I do like simple liveries, not going to lie. I think it's quite a catchy one. I'll tell you what, if it had been blue, white and red, he could have had the French flag on it as well. That would have been a bit of a nice touch. Big Dan with the rich energy as normal. Have no complaints on that one either, not going to lie. Although, if I'm honest, I do prefer the Lexus that he has in the MTCC. Same black and gold with rich energy, but he's got purple accents on it, and it absolutely stands out. It is glorious. Bazza as well. He went with the Alpine one. Nothing wrong with that. I think it goes well with the with this Renault as well. Not an Alpine fan, not going to lie, but I do like the colour combination as well. Mrs. Guesty with the purple Monster. Nice colour as well. It's quite a difficult one. I don't know if I could. But we're in the final minute now, so back with the classic Renault trophy and Silver Star going with an all-French theme. Quite funky, not going to lie. Funky. Definitely funky. But it looks like Guesty is going to win this one. So he's going to get the final race win of the final race. And you have to say it has been quite a deserved one. He's been on pace all round, should I say. He was on it all in race 1, and he's just had his foot to the floor all in race 2. And there we go, the final drop is, I think Pat is going to cross the line. Yes, Pat comes home in 6th, with Silver Star also coming home in 7th as well. And I think he can say he's done quite well for a car he has been struggling with. Up next to cross the line will be Guesty to take another win home to the Guesty household. I'm sure he'll be happy with this one regardless. And it's another trophy for the Guesty. This floors it through the darkness. Coming down to the chase. I think, yep, it's a reverse of the 1-2, but apart from that, it looks like it's still the status quo from race 1, with Guesty and Racer Brown swapping places. But there we go, through the final corner. It sways the car around as Guesty takes the win, but it looks like today is about this man with Racer Brown, and I think he has done enough to take the championship. Well done, Racer Brown. Big Dan coming out in 3rd. Wow, he made those softs last the whole race, so that was a cracking job for Big Dan, who takes a 3rd once again. Bazza coming home in 4th again. I'm sure he'll be happy with the 4th. But I think Big Dan is out of reach now, with our final competitor of the Renault Megane trophies coming home is Mrs. Guesty. Well done, love. Cracking work. So, a bit of a quiet one on that one. It was all at the start and then they spread themselves out. But it looks like Guesty will take the win on this one. Racer Brown takes second and the fastest lap, in which I will get the final standings loaded as we go on with that. Oh, good Lord. All the wind all of a sudden. Big Dan coming home to take his second third of the round. Not his third. It's getting that time of day for me where I start shutting down. So congratulations, Big Dan. Bazza also coming home in fourth. I'm sure he'll be pleased with that. With Mrs. Guesty coming home in fifth as well. Great points for her. Same with Pat as well in sixth. With Silver Star coming home in seventh. But let's get that championship because it has been loaded. And I can say that our new Renault Megane Trophy champion, I think we're in Season 2. So our Season 2 champion for the Renault Megane Trophy is Racer Brown. Congratulations, Racer Brown. Oh God, why am I singing that? I'm awful at singing. I sound like a drowned dog. So Racer Brown is your new Renault Megane Trophy champion on 224 points, with Homesick Alien coming home in second with 222 points. 2 points after 10 rounds, 20 races. Our two championship contenders were broken down to 2 points. Absolutely bizarre. And it turns out it wasn't 27 points. So which one was it then? 27. It might have been, I don't know. Or it's... well, the table isn't working properly, I don't know. But, yep, it was separated by 2 points between Racer Brown and Homesick Alien. So, well done, Homesick Alien. Hard fought for that second place. I'm sure you're probably a little bit gutted by it, but I guess it just means you don't have to do the extension to the trophy cabinet for the time being. In third is Big Dan on 194 points. Absolutely cracking stuff. I could be wrong on this. You might have to inform me on this one, mate, but I believe that is your highest championship finish position, in third. So a great result for Big Dan and cracking season for him all round. And you have to say it's absolutely great to see you up with the aliens, just a little bit more pace and control, and I'm sure that you'll be taking the fight to the aliens, no doubt about it. Guesty comes home in fourth on 179 points. What could have been for Guesty, just the early mistakes. Small mistakes may have costed him, but as we say, it's always going to come back to experience, isn't it? Bazza finishes fifth on 178 points, 1 point behind Guesty. It's already commendable as it is, because Guesty is definitely no slouch. So I think you've done well there to finish in fifth. Mrs. Guesty comes home in sixth. What an absolutely cracking final result for her to get sixth place on 151 points. Absolutely brilliant. Pat comes home in seventh on 145 points, so he does overtake Perchon and Rido on the final race, with Pat having 145 points, Perchon in eighth, who wasn't here today, on 140, and Rido in ninth on 139 points. So Pat finishes in 7th, and I've got to say, you'd be quite pleased with that one, Pat. We normally see you finishing a little bit lower down, so it's great to see you amongst the mid-pack guys. As we said, Perchon is in 8th on 140 points, and 9th to Rido on 139 points. Silverstar comes home in 10th on 127 points. Great result for him, really, in 10th, considering that he's had it hard fought. It's probably not been a season that he's going to remember for, but it's all a learning experience for him at the end of the day, and who knows, maybe he is happy with the 10th, because it just means that he can go onwards and upwards. With Electric coming home 11th on 73, Kale coming home in 12th on 67 points, Bunny coming home in 13th on 32, Skyjacker coming home in 14th on 6th, and Harvey, unfortunately, in 0. So it all... Oh, it's in the dark, so I don't think it'll matter anyway, will it? Ow. I don't think it'll matter. Can we use your headlights? No, we can't. We can just see. Yep. We'll just do that. Yep. The mothership is here for you, sir. So Racer Brown takes the championship of the Renault Meganes, and it's been a while since we've seen him on the championship winning position. He has been out for a fair while, so who knows? I could be wrong though, but don't ask me to remember things, because I can't remember things. But yes, it is Racer Brown that comes home with the championship victory, and that's a wrap for the Renault Megane Trophies Season 2. It's going to be sad to see them disappear for another time, but I'm sure they will be back at some point in the future. And it means we can move on to another series as well. And have we got an absolute belter coming up for you? In fact, we do actually. In fact, would you like a VRC first? I bet you do. I bet this would go greatly with your Friday morning coffee with a bit of VRC exclusive. I probably couldn't do that better, actually. Right, let's see if I can do it a bit better. VRC exclusive. Nope, I cannot. All right, I'll end it at that. With the Renault Meganes finishing, we can move on to our next series. And guess what's back? Back again. It's the Max 5s! The Max 5s are coming back, and that'll be your next series coming up. So you will want to stay tuned for that one. And also as well, that isn't the exclusive. No, it isn't. The exclusive is we have plans. Big, big plans coming up, in which we are going to bring you even more VRC racing. Even more. More than what I can chuck out. How is it? How are you going to achieve this, you say? You are one man. Surely you can't bring out more. Well, I could, but you know how things are with me. But let's just say I have a cunning plan. A plan so cunning that it educated from cunning at Cunning University. As cunning as a fox. However, I don't want to deal into the secrets too much. But how am I going to find out? Well, I'll tell you how you can find out. What you can do is stay tuned and listen in the future, because it will be happening soon. I don't know when. I don't have a date set for it, but we do have plans coming forward, and putting it all into motion. It's just a question of when can I do it? I do not know, but you will know in the near future. So I hope you will look forward to that one. So, should I leave you to the rest of your morning coffee and breakfasts and ready for the weekend, perhaps? I think so. So, let us put the Renault Meganes to bed, shall we, for another season, and hopefully we will see them back very soon, and hopefully I will see all of you back here as well. We've still got some NTCC to do, and what an absolute scrap we are having in the MTCC. You definitely don't want to miss that one, and to make sure you don't miss that one, don't forget to subscribe to the Virtual Racers Club. Also give this video a like so I know that the upstairs management in my school knows that I'm doing a fairly decent job. Make sure you share it with all your racing pals as well. If you know a friend that enjoys a little bit of racing, who doesn't mind watching stuff that we do on here, show them this page. Show them just the amateurs that we are. Yes, we are an amateur racing club. We're only here to entertain you. Are you not entertained? We're here to just entertain everybody. We're not here for anything for it. But I'll tell you what, give this video, should I say, a good like, thumbs up, share it between your friends, and don't forget to hit subscribe and get the bell on to get notifications of every time this blooming idiot is coming at you live. Also, if you have a friend who's into sim racing or wants to get involved, the link to our Discord will be in the description very, very shortly. Just remember to hit that link to our Discord. It will ask you to accept the invitation, and then maybe we'll get to see you in a future championships where you will get to see yourself live in action with me showing it all. And we shall leave it at that, which hopefully I will be back with the MTCC over the next few days. So, until we meet again, I was your broadcaster and commentator, insert comical names here. Enjoy the rest of your day. I hope it goes well, and I will see you very soon.